Christ is our victory. Daily meditations on great texts from the Book of Books. September 1st. Example. Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity. 1 Timothy 4:12. It is easy to read rules of conduct and tell others what they should do. It is more difficult, but much more effective, to show the way by example. It is better to say come instead of go. The person who takes the lead will be sure to have followers. The minister who admonishes his congregation to be long-suffering, yet becomes impatient at the slightest criticism, cannot expect a very hearty response to his entreaties. The Apostle Paul had this in mind when he counseled Timothy, "Be thou an example." Timothy was urged to act in such a way that no one would despise his youth. His conduct must be such that it would be an example for others to follow. A responsibility rests upon each one to set a noble example. A young man at school had formed the habit of smoking, and he could not be allowed to remain with the student group, so I took him to his home. The boy and I had a heart-to-heart talk, and he told me he was first tempted to smoke because he wanted to be like his father. When the father discarded part of his cigarette, the boy would take it unnoticed from the ashtray and practice smoking. He thought smoking was a sign of manhood. The father told me that he had punished the boy severely and thought this would break him of the habit. What a sad testimony to the influence of a bad example. How unreasonable and blind the father was to punish his son, and so severely, for following in his footsteps. How different was the influence of the boy who had been away at an academy. When he came home, he had his worship morning and evening. His little brother watched his example and begged his parents to have family worship. Paul's life was an exemplification of the truths he taught, and herein lay his power.